ravioli, a homemade red sauce, real quick, red sauce, don't have to get too crazy, and some bread and cheese, and it was good. And now I'm like, carb, carbs. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about the Hollywood Reporter and a scoop from the totally imaginary, non-imaginary birdie named Sparrow. Okay, so Sparrow, if you're watching, hey, this is good stuff. So, the Hollywood Reporter and Matt Bellany and probably everybody else in Hollywood is mocking Star Wars Celebration. Hey, Dave, today. Basically, what they said was last week at Star Wars Celebration, Disney released a flurry of exciting announcements, such as the Ahsoka trailer and 3 new movies, which are really, really, truly going to happen this time. Promise. The trades see blood in the water. This. Look, if Matt Bellany can put in his, hey Deborah, if Matt Bellany can put in his newsletter, she's full of shit. This is what's going on right now. They're not really. I'm getting too much sun in my face. They're tired of it. They know she's full of shit. And yeah, right, Deborah. And they're done. I mean, look, they wouldn't be doing this if they didn't smell blood in the water. All right, if they thought she was the greatest thing since sliced bread, they would be covering this like they used to. They're not anymore. And it's really interesting to me, to me, to see how they're reacting to. Look, Iger told her it's going to be your goodbye thing. From what we know, that's what happened. He told her to do it. She said she would. And then she turned around and turned it into, we're doing all this. And here's the acolyte. And the money for the acolyte. And it's really interesting. But Pablo Hidalgo right now is on Twitter talking to let's see, the person whose voice is fake, mine isn't, it's what you get, his little friend and the discount O'Keefe, telling him that the acolyte is real and that the Ray movie is gonna happen, bro. It's not. They're mocking her. As far as I can tell with the acolyte, if they follow the money, they'll probably find it goes back to her and she'll be the one in trouble. If, the Ray, I mean, it's like, why would you even bother? But then, this is all she's got. Do you remember when? Yeah, let's see, The Force Awakens. The reason why people went to that, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill, they didn't go to it for Daisy Ridley, and they didn't go back to the movie for Daisy Ridley, and they didn't go back to the last one at all. And it hung out in the theaters till it made $1 billion so she could get her fucking contract renewed. Okay, that's why that happened. Okay, that is why. Why is this? The sun is just pissing me off. So that is the thing right there. That's Alonzo was probably not the name. She's like the co-head or second head of Marvel, and this is the head of Lucasfilm. And really, there wasn't any precedent until she was gone. I look at firing Ike Perlmutter as actually being almost worse, and he had a diatribe in the Wall Street Journal this weekend. Boo-hoo. Okay. I am looking at this going, okay, so Hollywood smells blood. She's done. It's over. All right, this says to me that they know that she's on her way out the door. And they will go through the motions and then go, bye, see ya. Okay, that's it. Okay, guys, this is it. Now, let's talk about Sparrow. I mean, the trades don't even want her. So, okay. So, Iger's going to confront her again, face to face. And he actually has human resources and the accounting department again at Disney looking for information between May and September 2022, which is when you look at the permits that were pulled, what I could see was there were 4 in England. I couldn't find any for Portugal. I tried. I don't understand the language, so I gave up. There were 4 of them. All right, they're listed. And the permits to film on that might not have anything to do with this, just some other guy. That might actually, the company audits internally before they sell. Okay. And I think that might be the end game here. Unless Kennedy has fucked up so badly. Iger says, go bye, see ya. Remember again, she has a 30% chance of getting fired before Indy 5 drops. Okay, so they're looking into the stuff that I looked at last night, that I was looking at and reading, and there aren't any. This is internal to Disney. I think they have Price Waterhouse doing it, so I don't think that's available for the public, and rightly so. But they're going to look at any permits, any monies that were given to Headland between May and September, because that's when those film dates were. Okay. Then we've got Shinfield Studio. How much does that cost to rent? Or are they piggybacking on Andor filming? All right. Or did they, get enough rental space to add filming something for the Acolyte? Okay. So they're looking at this. If I were them, I would look at that too. Who's renting that space? Why? Okay, that would be something I would ask. It's so I guess Iger yesterday told the accounting department to get involved and go after Kennedy, and that was actually before I even said anything. So this is actually what they're looking for, is anything directly connected to Karen McCarthy's lawsuit. Look, I was trolling Pablo today, all right, basically saying, hey, where's the money coming from for this? And I where who's paying for it? Because Disney is not. They're not. They've never said a word about giving this thing the green light. There you go. First off, the office thought it was going to be the Kathy Kennedy retrospective, and the office at Lucasfilm was shocked by all the stupid announcements. There aren't any scripts for any of those. There's no record of them, but there are already drafts for second season of Ahsoka in the Lucasfilm archives. All right, so Ahsoka is going to be a hit. It's going that just Guys, she should have just gone ahead and just said, I'm done, I'm retiring. Announced it and let the 5 people who gave a shit boo-hoo and leave. Look, the film industry knows she's done. Lucasfilm knows she's done. She knows she's done. You know, yeah, well, you know, when she said the Feige movie was never a thing, and then Matt Bellany sarcastically chides her and says, yes, it was. It's like, look, don't say anything like that. If there are people who have connections to the people who are working on that stuff, who will put it out there because they're journalists and they do it, all right? Just say, yes, it was a thing. It's on the back burner. I hope to work with Kevin soon on this project. And then you just let it go. You don't sit there and go, it was just a fan thing. It wasn't really theory if I never saw anything of it. Oh, yeah, she did. All right. Look, this is I mean, if you look at the pictures of her, like the one that I use as a thumbnail, the woman looks insane. Okay, she looks, her face is all tight. It's all shiny, like she went and had a botched chemical peel, too much Botox. She looks angry AF. You know, when you look at like the cast for The Acolyte and they barely said anything about their project. They did not, I mean, because they know it's not kosher. Okay. No one I've talked to who's actually looked at this has said, this is normal Disney functioning with the show. It's not. You know, and all right, here's what's going to happen. We're going to be hearing, I think, from Sparrow, and there's going to be stuff in the news. We're going to be seeing the layoffs happen. Maybe not right away at Lucasfilm, but stop it, Kojak. Are you kidding me, Deborah? Yeah, guys. Yeah, bros. She sure is popular. You know, it's really fascinating to me seeing it all play out. I only watched a little bit of Celebration and then in passing. And it's like watching a slow moving car accident. You know, the fact they had to be told, I would have just said there, can I give her the finger? That's what I want to do. You know, she's done and she knows it. I mean, it's a matter of, does Iger want to fire her? And look, if the Hollywood Reporter is going after her, and Matt Bellany feels free to just, hey, Brad, come here, Kojak, where are you? Come here. This guy right here, here's Kojak, basically ran me over, okay? On the driveway, I got my feet knocked out from under me and shattered my wrist and got a light concussion. So, a very bad dog. Oh, yes, you are. He's just a little bit enthusiastic. He thinks he's a golden retriever, only he's about 50 pounds heavier than our golden ever was. He's about 121 pounds now, so he's a gentle giant, but he's a crazy giant. All right, so there's that. He's a good boy though. So this is a shattered. Oh, it's healed now. I'm just going through rehab now. Let's see what it looks like. You can't really see it, but there's the thing. This is where the plate is, and I think there are pins on this side, but it was UGLY. It was ugly. So I just wear this. It's a very loose bandage like sock. I call it my hand sock. And it kind of just keeps me from being a little nervous about injuring my hand again. Not that I'm worried about it. It helps. It also can help protect it driving. What's really funny is driving has actually helped get a lot of mobility back. And I'm going to say this. When you break a bone, the bone heals, but what happens is what heals around it are your tendons, etc. And they're happy being, I mean, look at my fingers. It's what they're supposed to be. This is me trying to straighten them out. The tendons here are very happy being in this shape. So I went to rehab today, and it's just very difficult to get any. I have feeling in them, of course, but it's very difficult to get these things to get out of that, you know, shape because they don't want to. Or they're just like, we're fine, we're happy, we're like this. So I can't give people the finger with my left hand. You know, which sucks, you know, because you want to be able to do that. And shooting, you know, my hand, I can't, you know, there are a lot of, but it'll come back. I mean, it's a lot, I've got a lot more mobility now than I did. It's just going to be time, you know, and it, you know, I think I'll probably get 45% back. And really, that's all I need. As long as I can drive, walk the idiot, take care of my horse, and shoot, I'll be happy. All right, and type 2. All right, anyway. But this is, what we were talking about is Kennedy. I looked at I did a video today about, oh yeah, I know, I will too. And that is what's going to happen, but I'm going to tell you something. They're going to turn their anger towards Jon Favreau. They already have. Okay, get ready for that. Look, I think all these people just want to burn it all down. And they've said it. You know, when you're in somebody's chat and some idiot goes, it burned to the ground. It's like, that's useful. Hey, Peter. So, I mean, oh, thank you, Core. Hi, how you doing? So, we just gotta sit back and watch. And now all right, look, it's one of those things where you're looking at Kennedy thinking, are you really that unaware of what your position is now? I mean, her husband is in New York, as far as I know. Let's see if he still is. He's in New York right now, and he's doing the opening for his Broadway play. Yeah, he's previews for Goodnight Oscar. So with Sean Hayes. So you know this is what I want to say. People are jumping on the board. Ooh, Mandalorian's audiences fallen to a record. It doesn't help that the black pill blobs are shitting all over it. Where do these people get their information from? Pablo Hidalgo, who doesn't follow John or Dave or Star Wars or Disney or anything. You're welcome, Core. And you gotta ask, what is their what do they want? They're not fans. You look. How many here have known I've been aware of Pablo and have been fighting him and his bullshit and his friends at Lucasfilm since about 2017? Put a 1 in the chat. These guys show up 4 or 5 months ago, and suddenly they're the biggest names on YouTube. and they're poisoning everybody against Star Wars in general, and they're talking to him, you think maybe he's got an axe to grind? All right, it's time for everybody to look at those three people. The new one, the bass fisherman, and yeah, those are the days when it all started. And the discount James O'Keefe, with a very cynical eye. They're running around calling, Kamran's contacts imaginary birds. Well, it is and it's not, because now we've got Lucasfilm itself at war with itself. And sadly, there are YouTubers out there that are going along with it. Why? They have a contact with somebody they think is at Lucasfilm. They got kudos. Matt Kadish going after Mangold. Wow, an unsuccessful movie writer, film person who hasn't been in Hollywood for how long, going after James Mangold after Harrison Ford gets hurt. And instead of going, what the fuck did you do that, bro? People are like, oh, great, 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 great. You're a hero. It's like, he's not a hero. He's just a bro who hasn't got a life. And he's attacking one of the most successful, interesting filmmakers in Hollywood because an actor that I'm sure makes him feel insecure still got hurt. I mean, you know, yeah, and Peter's right. And it what did Alfred say to Batman in The Dark Knight? Some men just want to see the world burn. Okay. The complaining that Bo-Katan is suddenly in front in The Mandalorian. Maybe that's the way the story's supposed to go. If you remember at Clone Wars, she wanted to be the head of the Mandalorians, and she was the rightful ruler. Okay. And oh my God, she's a girl. That's the problem. So when you bitch about Bo-Katan, you're kind of proving Pablo's point, and you just shut up and let people decide for themselves. All right? Instead of having a damn echo chamber and have me on, have Kamran on, I don't care. I don't care anymore. I'm done. Look, two of them showed up on this channel trolling me the other day. And I'm going to say this. The moment Kamran showed up, they shut the fuck up. Okay? They're doing it. They're doing it. But what I think is going to happen is it's going to be a very mixed group, and that's fine. I don't care. The Mandalorians are based on what looks like to me the Spartans and the Vikings. Okay, where the Vikings did have women who fought, they did. Okay, and that's just the truth. And those women were asses. They were called shield maidens. And the fact that there are guys out there that can't deal with it, it's like you don't know history, right? So, well, Spartan women stayed home, but if they had to defend Sparta, they could. Okay, it wasn't like they were weak, but Mandalorian women are warriors. They're like up there in the front lines with, like the Vikings. Yeah, and that, yeah. I know that they were, and that, and then they show up, and Nick is trying to be nice. And I'm like, look, I don't want anything to do with you. Look, I haven't thought about you guys in months. All right, wrong about everything, and it's look, I can't deal with immaturity. If you're gonna act like you drink Bud Light, don't come on my show, and don't come here. Okay, there you go. I'm done. All right, just stay away. Not fans. You're angry. You're bitter, and I don't even think it really has to do with Star Wars. All right, there's something other than that with a lot of these people. All right, and I'm done. I'm tired. Okay. I just want it to get back together. And I'm sure they're all cheering that Mando isn't getting the views because it's fun to see the world burn. If I don't get what I want, and then, oh, well, we just have the EU and the old movies. Well, what about the kids growing up? What about the little boy down the street who would like to have Luke Skywalker around? What about the little boy down the street that would like Han Solo and Chewie around? What about that? What about giving them male heroes that are worthwhile? And don't tell me that Jon Favreau doesn't know that. Look what he did for Luke. I wish I knew what he was up to. Craig, out of the blue, showed up on Twitter one day, and then he disappeared. And we haven't heard from him in months. So I don't know what's happening. No, it wasn't fake. Are you kidding me? First off, that didn't show up in Celebration. They haven't filmed anything. The movie hasn't even it doesn't even have a script yet. I'm sure that the Black Pill Blobs are saying it's real. Why? Money. It gives them power. And that's all they care about. All right, I'm done. All right, this place is supposed to, let's talk about how we can fix what's broken and not like what's broken and let's pile on. All right, I'm sick of it. I've told people I'm sick of it. All right, and it's time for us to band together and say, look, do you want this to be good or not? If you don't, it's fake. Again, Kennedy even said to the Daily Mail, they don't have a script for this fake movie, okay? And I think probably Daisy will never have children because she's one of those sick bitches, okay? She's just, who could but doesn't for the environment. Even though there are 8 billion people on the planet, the population is imploding. The Chinese are losing population. The Japanese are like, Italy is going to disappear, all right? No, I'm talking about the movie. Okay, I'm talking about the Ray movie, not The Acolyte. The Acolyte has stuff filmed. What is the extent and who's paying for it? Because Disney is not. Everything that I have looked through everything that I could find to see if there was some connection to actual Disney financials, and there isn't any. And that's a reason why Iger wants to know where Leslie Headland's getting the money. And this is what I just thought of this. Andor 2 was filming. Kennedy decides to rent out Shinfeld Field Studios for another 4 or 5 months and puts it under Andor for Acolyte. All right. This isn't a Disney thing. This is her thing. She's doing this because John and Dave were doing the streaming. That's what they were supposed to be doing, and she is supposed to go. I don't know. This is what I think. I think she paid for some of it herself. She did have discretionary funds that we're pretty sure she got the first 50,000 euros from and another 50,000. But there are other monies through Blue Stocking that went out and no one knows where it came from. And this is the thing. The lawsuit, when the lawyer talked to Cameron, he basically said, oh, they could have been, Dave, for all we know. The lawyer said, none of this makes sense. This is not what Disney usually does. Okay. So they're looking at it from that angle. I mean, look, Karen McCarthy, let's see. Let's look up her resume. Just because we can do that. She's definitely not a nobody. All right. And, okay, I have to look it up. She has, let's see. Her filmography, let's look at that. Darn, okay. All right, let's look at this. All right, Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, Whip It, The Hole. Let's go into, oh, she was production manager for Driven. What Women Want, I love that movie, by the way. All right, let's go to television. Ballers, Insecure, House of Cards. You don't know John Adams. Well, KK went with herself. All right. So we've got her knowing Tom Hanks, Paul Giamatti, knowing the people that did House of Cards and Ballers. Okay, so she was up to be executive producer and the line producer for The Acolyte, and then suddenly she drops off of Sugar with Colin Farrell, and 2 weeks later, literally, she's told no. And I know exactly what was said to her. I know exactly, and I can't say it, but I know exactly what was said to her. All right. I know what the budget was quoted at, which is why I really wanted to see what footage they had. Okay. Because if I could see it, it would be very interesting to see how it looked. Does it look like there is a big budget behind it? Is there volume stage? Where's, you know what I'm saying? If they spent the right amount of money on it. Like the difference between Andor and Mandalorian. All right. Andor looked like cosplay convention. All right. It just looked cheap and tawdry and very just no. Okay. So I would like to have seen that. Okay. This is about the money. And they find out Disney, and I'll bet you $1,000, Iger already told McCarthy he never okayed this. I would not be surprised at all. All right. Because if that's the truth, okay, then it's going to blow up in everybody's faces. Okay. I'm, really just stunned by how this has gone so far and the guts Kennedy has at what she did this weekend. I tweeted Matt Bellany, was Kennedy not, did you not say that Iger told Kennedy not to make any announcements for movies, and she did? And he liked it. So the big story is going to be the lawsuit, but I think that's far down the line. I think we got to watch the next couple of weeks because, again, the big layoffs are coming. And what does Iger do about Kennedy? Because he has to do something. Guys, I am not the only person who's looking at $5,000 to this woman. And yeah, you're right, Brad. And you're not fully funded. And this isn't going to come out. Really? Well, it's look, Hedlund has shown herself to be a cheapskate and a phony. And Kennedy has turned out to be a nefarious, ego-driven, unaware psychopath. Okay? I mean, did you see her this weekend? You know, she must have hit the mean pill big time the night before celebration started, because she was, looked like, and it was, I mean, you could just feel the tension. No one wanted her to be there. She wasn't doing what she was supposed to. And probably that's why at times Favreau was like, pissed off. And I can't really blame him. Anyway, I gotta go, but get onto Comron's Patreon and go see what Sparrow said, and go see the mockery that Kennedy is now getting in the press. It's over. All he waits for the ball to drop. Yeah, because she's also a narcissist too. Anyway, thanks for everybody stopping by. Yeah, I was just saying that. There's a whole bunch of new stuff coming out. Citizen. I'll go through it real quick. Iger wants accounting and HR to look at any dealings with Hedlund for the money between May and September of last year. He's asked to have another face-to-face meeting with Kennedy. Okay, so we're like, and he wants to see, what did he want to see? Let me look. And this is really interesting because someone asked, couldn't she cook that book? And it's like, I think he probably already has that information. Iger requested another face-to-face meeting. He also wants Kennedy to bring the reaction poll data from Celebration. Now, could she cook those books? She could try. But you bet your sweet Bippy that Iger already has it. Okay, this guy's not going to ask her a question he doesn't already know the answer to. All right, remember that. And Kennedy's just getting mocked in the Hollywood press now for making movie announcements that aren't real. All right, the fact that her husband allows her to keep doing this shocks me. Anyway. Oh yeah, he did. He had his people there. He knows everything, and he probably knew she was going to do this. Anyway, you guys have a good evening, and if something else happens, I'll be back. I'll probably do an upload. Just guys around the galaxy, okay?